find out. All right, in the upper right, we have one of the best Terrans on the Team Slayers. His ID is
Slayers Ryung.
And in the bottom left, we have the legend himself. He is
I am MVP.
It really does take some balls to name yourself MVP, you know?
It does, and it's, I mean,
imagine if you were MVP and you were actually this like subpar player that always lost in round of 32.
Actually, that's what he was for years in StarCraft 1. He was actually, I used to always joke with Idra because MVP was on Woongjin that I was like, dude, if you're on Woongjin, you'd be in Pro League every week because MVP is their only Terran and he's terrible. But eventually, he worked his ass off and got a top 4 OSL and switched over and became the greatest StarCraft II player of all time. So, I mean, even though he sucked for a while, he is...
Hard work pays off. That's actually the only way to
And the thing is, he named himself MVP knowing that he's like, well, you know what? Eventually, this is going to happen for me. And by gosh, if it... did in it or something. I don't know. God, I'm falling apart.
By gosh.
By golly, Taste.
You actually just fell apart. I just saw your brain.
You saw the death of a man.
Go. I saw the blue screen of death in your brain right there.
Yeah.
I think we're on hour 4 now of this cast. But these games are pretty good, man. It's interesting to see how much these players have improved over how long have we been doing GSL now?
Long time.
Year and
since it was made.
But I mean,
it was October 2010, so we're a year and 6 months. Year and 6 months.
Year and 6 months, man. Wow.
18 months, Stasis.
Yeah.
Of you and me. This is our 18-month anniversary. What'd you get me? Right. Did you get me something with an emerald?
You didn't notice I got a haircut for this. I didn't get a haircut for this.
No, you didn't. I'm like looking at you. I'm like, no, I would have noticed.
Actually, you know what I did do though? I did. Because I was getting some mutton chop sideburns.
Yeah.
I just took my scissors and cut off some of the mutton chop sideburns.
Oh yeah.
So I did get a haircut.
You got to watch out for that.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that.
Because your sideburns are thick.
Oh yeah.
That's important.
I mean, I got serious. I mean, I could smuggle diamonds in my sideburns if I don't actually trim those things. Man.
Yeah. It's a great idea. We should do that. We should smuggle some diamonds.
We should be. Dude, let's quit esports and start like doing diamond heists.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That's a great idea, actually.
Yeah, man.
I love the movie Snatch.
Yeah, dude.
It's one of my favorite movies. All we need is a dog.
Yeah, we need a dog. And we need a driver.
No, that guy was terrible.
Well, we just need a driver when we heist the diamonds because neither of us own a car in Seoul.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, we'll get Juani to do it.
Oh, we'll get Juani
to do it.
Of course.
Juani already looks like he could.
Juani has a car.
Juani already looks like he could be in a diamond heist, actually, already.
Yeah, actually.
Actually, he could be. Like,
he'd bring the masks.
It's no problem. I know the best route out of this city. All right.
Well, both these players taking fast expansions, going to double gas and teching up. I'm interested to see exactly which styles they go for. MVP, my guess right now is he's going to go into, it looks like Reactor Hellion by the placement of his factory, which is kind of neat. Whereas Ryung looks more like he's going for a Banshee. And bam, Ryung does look, in fact, like he's going for a Banshee, but it could be Siege Tank plus Viking. That's also a very strong and solid style.
Now, I want to, again, okay, so let's talk about the map.
Yes.
That was not a proper sentence I said, but that's what happens if every cast is this long. Okay, so the map has 2 Xel'Naga watchtowers. And this map is, as you can see, one watchtower on one side, one on the other. So if you can control the watchtower that's closer to your opponent, you're in a much bigger advantage.
You see a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Thanks for that contribution to my statement.
Dude, we've actually been here since noon Korean time, and now we're
we did it off the record today.
By the way, guys, go check out Off the Record.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
You may have seen it before and didn't like it. Maybe you haven't seen it before, but check it out. Tastes and I did it today. I thought it was the best episode yet. We changed a lot of stuff around on the format, and if you don't have the ticket to be able to watch that, I think it's free on Monday, so check that out then.
Yeah.
It was actually a lot of fun.
For total
today.
broadcast hours today, this would be like 6.
I don't know, a long time though.
It's the part where our brains stop working.
That's actually true. My brain has stopped working. I thought that Ryung was making DCs last game. It's like, oh god.
Well, I didn't even catch you doing it.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, well, this is silly.
Because that's actually, when you get to this hour, actually, what all I hear from Artosis is like, mung, 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 mung. And I'm like, yeah, and over here is a siege tank.
MVP. No.
All right, MVP poking in here.
By the way, this is going to be mech versus mech, which is pretty exciting to see.
So this actually should be a pretty long game.
Yes, it should.
And they're both getting Ravens like they should be.
Unless someone messes up, this should be very long tasteless indeed. And wait a minute. Okay. So Ryung, very quick additional command center, whereas MVP not doing so. So Ryung wants to take a quick additional base, which is why he's getting Blue Flame. That's going to give him a little bit more map control, but MVP going to have a little bit more power because he's going siege mode.
So he could get that, the ideal watchtower for him first.
And realistically, MVP with, wait a minute, he hasn't, okay, just started his third pack. If Ryung goes really heavy Hellion, it's going to be a neat little transitional thing where Ryung has a lot of Hellions with Blue Flame, right? And that's going to give him some map control, but MVP's making the more powerful units the siege tanks. So it's going to be it could turn into a little juke and jive, or they might both just sit around.
Yeah,
because it's so hard to actually, you can't really, breaking mech with mech is like silly hard, which is why we see mech go into Sky Terran all the time. Yeah, the end.
We have some more Hellions moving around the map right now. Again, they are both powering up. With mech, you do want to turtle as much as possible. Okay, so it's 4 Hellion shots to kill him. That's where I got that weird number from earlier. Now, as you can see, the Banshee here is becoming very useful for controlling the map. You know, even if you can't get to their base and do that much damage with the Banshee because they have Vikings, you can usually use it to just kind of keep people off the zone on the watchtowers.
Yeah.
So, if you're a guy who gets Vikings early on, oftentimes you might want to check at the Zelnanga watchtowers for the Banshees, because that's oftentimes one of the only places they can really go to be useful if they can't attack your base.
By the way, MVP had a 6 scan on Ryung, which saw him putting down his 5th fact. And that's really good to know, because he's getting his factories really quickly, which means he's going to be like a little bit lighter on units right now, but he's basically powering up to very quickly jump into gigantic macro mech. So I feel like, you know, unless MVP moves out soon to take map control in an important location, then Ryung should be able to swarm through the map and get a slight macro advantage for a little bit that gets him into a better position. And mech is a positional game. You have to get the better position on each other, and oftentimes what's going to happen in mech versus mech is that big siege line, everyone's trying to harass a little bit, and then we just see a lot of Vikings and battle cruisers.
Yeah, and the reasoning for that is that the siege tank does so much damage in siege mode and has so much range that the first person to attack into the other guy receives the damage first.
Just dies straight up.
Alright, so we're on 3-base play now. Thors are now being incorporated into the mech army.
Yeah, Ryung getting some Thors this time is smart move. If you have a Thor or 2 in your army, you never completely lose your Vikings. You just kind of fly him back over the Thor if your opponent has more Vikings, and he can't fly forward because your Thor will like own up his Vikings pretty hard.
All right, the Hellions are moving out now. Both of them, actually. Are they both Blue Flame, Artosis?
Yes, they are.
They are, okay. So we have more Hellions and siege tanks gathering up. There's nothing happening right now.
Ryung does have more SCVs at this moment.
Oh, does he? He's up by 12. Well, it's interesting to see that also Ryung is up by supply, too, 171 to 143.
Yeah, that's mainly because of his Hellion count. You can mass up Hellions really quickly. They're kind of like roaches in that way, where it's like, well, it's 2 supply, they're kind of cheap. You can really get your supply up high by making a lot of them, but they won't necessarily work as well against your opponent's units. For instance, 22 Hellions to 13, but we have 11 Vikings and 10 siege tanks for MVP, and that's like the ultimate units for mech is siege tank and Viking.
Well, it looks like Ryung's going to be the aggressor here.
Yeah.
Since he is maxing out first.
This is this swarm thing I was talking about earlier. He powered up to these factories, and now he has this this map control.
He has that watchtower.
Position.
See, he's parking his siege tanks right over there.
Yeah. He has those couple of Thors as well, which are going to help out so that MVP can't get a significant position advantage.
And now MVP is in a bit of a debacle.
He is, but let's not forget that his actual army units are in a lot of ways just better. He has more Vikings, and he has twice as many siege tanks at 14-7, and that's something that matters a lot. The problem is breaking a siege line, but this is a long map. It's a very long map, and it's going to be hard for Ryung to hold all the positions he needs to try to hold.
Right. Now, I see what. Okay, Ryung is actually being pretty smart. He's actually going to sneak around and try to get this positional advantage, and MVP's leaving his base.
MVP way out of position right now.
Way out of position. Uh-oh. Everything over here is about to die.
He's going to mess this up big time. Going to take out a command center pretty easily. Ryung sieging on that high ground. MVP sieging from below.
Wow, really nice play here by Ryung.
That is quite true. Taking out that command center, but Ryung has lost some additional siege tanks, which is an issue. He's down to 2 siege tanks. MVP has 15. I would say that MVP at this point can actually unsiege an attack move to win.
I think you're right, because look, this is a scary army from Ryung, but it's not as scary as MVP's, and I don't think if MVP goes straight to the heart, to where the factories are, he'll be able to stop or save himself in this situation.
MVP can just basically...
It's going to be it's like a mech-based base trade right now. Okay.
Yeah. But the units of Ryung just are not as good right here. And in fact, Ryung right now actually doing something very important, as we see here, landing all of his Vikings to try to take out the siege tanks, throwing down auto turrets as well. And that was actually a very important move. So we do have the base trade going on. Let me count.
All right, we got a mech base trade, guys, and see what happens.
Right now, it's looking like MVP should be able to take this because he has more siege tanks and he has more Vikings.
Yeah, don't be confused by the supplies here, guys. Yeah. It's actually about the siege tanks and the Vikings.
Yeah, the supplies do not matter nearly as much. 15 siege tanks to 4, 15 Vikings to 8. Both have a Raven. Both of their Ravens very low on energy. So,
well, I think
the thing is, you lift off your buildings in this situation.
There is one Banshee hidden in the upper left for Ryung.
Oh, that's actually very clever.
So, just keep in mind that if a Thor volley were to hit all of MVP's Vikings and destroy them, there would be no anti-air, which would mean the Banshee would kill everything.
Yep. Now, yeah, the Thors are a good thing to bring into the equation, but again, the siege tanks beat the Thors.
Yes, that's very true
it's
as well.
Still close. It is still anyone's game. Someone can just play better than the other person. And actually, right now, MVP has a Banshee as well, let's not forget.
Yeah, I just caught wind of that. Well, I think your analysis is actually 100% correct, Kurtosis. There's just the army's too strong. The maneuver by Ryung to go over there, that was great and all, but then, after the exchange, MVP basically looked at it and said, well, wait a minute, I just have a bigger army, I'm just going to go kill you.
Well, right now, it looks like, we're just going to have a bunch of floating buildings around. MVP actually escaping with some of his command centers going towards the top right. For SCV counts, we have 1 SCV for MVP and 3 for Ryung. Now, the reason this is important, if you don't have any SCVs, you can't build supply depots, so even if you save command centers, it doesn't matter. Where is the SCV of... MVP has the SCV, so all he needs to do is start building a bunch of supply depots with that. He's going to have enough mules to actually mine and get an economy going, whereas Ryung, he has some SCVs, but he's rebuilding his command center. So Ryung going to start moving out.
So Ryung's rebuilding his command center at the bottom. So we're not at that point in time where everything's being revealed. All right, MVP has to, as long as he controls his army perfectly, he should be in good shape.
Yeah, in fact, he can just siege up with all of his command centers, all his orbitals, and just throw down mass mules and get a real economy going. It'll take him a while to build enough depots, but he's going to be fine. And there you go. His economy is going to get really going. As soon as he has enough depots, then he's going to be able to build more SCVs, get more production. Yeah, you don't really see base trade mech
that
much in StarCraft II.
Never really see it.
something we should see more in the future as more people begin to do Mac.
I like that he has actually, because he's low on depots, he's using the energy to do a supply drop.
Yep, very
Makes perfect sense,
actually.
you know.
Now, he just has to be in the right position against this army incoming. Ryung's army not as good. His supply even lower at this point. 4 Thors, 10 aliens, 7 Vikings, 2 tanks. And look at this, MVP taking some out here. He does have that point defense drone. He just needs, if he wins the air war, he wins GG.
That's check,
MVP to the round of 16.
Well done, MVP. Wow, look at that smile.
Great play there. Well done by MVP in that second game especially. First game was a little bit of luck, but he will move on. So it's good to see after that first best of 3 where he didn't look so great, looking great this time. MVP.
MVP's coming back, guys.
Yeah.
And he has turned into a jacket.
Uh-oh.
Ryung obviously very
I've heard
upset.
about this. Jackitis.
I'm obviously very upset right now. He is, he beat MVP the first time, and then the second time, MVP came back.
Yeah.
That's rough.
So, I mean, MVP has really shown a lot of skill here. Ryung, very unhappy with himself. Gets 2 TVTs, does not quite get out of the group in the round of 16. Unfortunately for him, he's going to drop to code A. Can he come back? Definitely a possibility.
Probably a lot of thought about that Naniwa series that he played. You know, thinking,
that one was
man,
rough.
if I could have just beaten Naniwa, I wouldn't have been in the situation. As you can see,
the Slayers team is not happy today. They brought 2 people to try to get into the round of 16, and neither did.
yeah,
They were,
knocked
some
out
might
of
say
Code
they
S.
were slayed.
they were.
Slayers
They were not the
slayed
Slayers
today.
this time. Well, that is the conclusion to our story for today.
The coach gonna have to teach them some lesson. Maybe tie them both to the front of the van and pull it like a sleigh.
Yes.
Team Slayers, pull it like a sleigh.
Team sled pullers. So, I think we had some great games today. It was a very long day for us, off the record in this. We have been casting for a long time. But we loved it, and it's so cool to see these Code S results kind of unfold.
Yeah, and in fact, we get to do another day Code S tomorrow.
Yeah.
The end of the round of 32. Can't wait for that. But first, I think we have to show you the results for today in case you forgot somehow.
Yeah, we'll pull those up for you guys in a minute. Again, the Naniwa, so strong going into this group.
Definitely played the best
I wanted
today in
him
this
to
group.
get out, but I didn't think that he was actually going to
I would love
necessarily
to see,
get out for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we'll hear. Let's look at the results, and I'll keep talking about that. The Naniwa games were amazing. Please check them out.
Yeah.
The MVP games were actually very interesting as well. That base rate in the last game was cool. Ryung and Puzzle. I think for me today, my favorite series was the PvP, the first one.
Really?
Yeah. What was yours?
I don't know. It's actually really, I liked Nanoa versus Ryung because he just like smashed him and made it in, and then he was so happy. So that was good.
Well, let's look at the games we're going to be doing for tomorrow. MC Virus Inca Nesty.
Oh, pretty sick, Tasteless. MC and Nesty, that's a lot of championships right there.
Yeah, that is
Now, can Inca make enough DTs to make it through here?
I do not know.
That is the question.
I would assume MC and Nesty got out of this, but then again, Inca's really good at PvP. He could mess MC up. Virus is somebody who just cannot be underestimated. Nesty created the universe, so we got to keep that in mind. He actually controls time and space.
That's a very important thing to keep in mind, Tasteless.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that up.
No problem. And yeah, I hope you guys can join us tomorrow. And again, please check out the off.
Oh, that's it. 2:10 p.m. KST. No one ever told us. We would have been late for work.
Oh, wow.
We have to get up
It's
early
2:10.
tomorrow.
All right, 2:10 p.m., not 6:10.
That's 4 hours earlier than normal.
That's 4 hours earlier. So if you want to see that, come check it out at that time. Otherwise, you're going to have missed it. And is there anything else? I think we did it.
That's it, man.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us. For Artosis and myself, we'll see you tomorrow.